give the floor to another person who is defending the human right to water, Monti Aguirre from International Rivers Global. You have the floor.
Thank you. Gracias, muchas gracias.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm grateful to the organizers of this panel, and I'm very pleased to be here with you. I will speak briefly about rivers, dams, and rights. Free-flowing and healthy rivers play a critical role in ensuring food security, in productive fisheries, and their seasonal floods fertilize riverbanks. They're amongst the most biodiversity-rich ecosystems in the world, in the whole planet. But the impacts of dams have a very direct social footprint. Worldwide, more than 80 million people have been displaced by dams to give way to reservoirs. These reservoirs are often that flood miles of productive lands along the riverbanks where populations have settled because of the rich soils. Study after study have shown that those displaced by dams have been left worse off, and indigenous peoples who hold a deep and special relationship to their lands, rivers, and nature overall have been disproportionately affected. Indigenous people make 5% of the world's population, but they're also protecting 80% of global biodiversity. Women have also been disproportionately impacted because when there are some benefits, they're allocated to men. Downstream communities have been also heavily impacted by displacement, lack of food, water security. Dams endanger the rights to clean water for millions of people. And there are specific instruments to protect indigenous peoples' rights, such as ILO 169. But this instrument does not allow people to veto development projects because it's not about it's about consultation and not about consent. In terms of the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, Article 32 requires consultation to be carried out with Indigenous people before states can undertake projects that will affect the rights to land, territory, and resources. Article 10 requires also informed consent before the relocation of Indigenous people from their land, and so on. And it's legally binding and of all the states that ratify them. But the problem is that some states have not ratified them, and also some are not, national legislation has to be adjusted, and there's a problem right there. That's something that we need to work on a lot more. The UN Working Group on Business and Human Rights notes that Indigenous people should determine autonomously how to define and establish consent. And in fact, consultation protocols by Indigenous peoples have started. They initiated in 2000 with First Nations in Canada, and a lot is going on that in the Amazon in Brazil. Any meaningful progress on protecting water, global biodiversity, and saving climate requires that we stand with indigenous communities to protect land, water, and rights. And right now, we need to stand also for nature. And the movement of rights for nature, it's very exciting, transformative, and it's providing powerful legal tools for restoration and water protection. We must stand for nature. Thank you.